Hey guys, Crystal Grace here and welcome to this pick a card reading, which is all about what is the tea on you. So whilst I am shuffling a card for each pile, a quick disclaimer: if a reading begins to trigger you in any way, please opt off the reading. This goes for when you are on other channels, because we do not sit here to conjure negative energies or messages for you in order for you to, have a bad day. So we have 3 piles to choose from. Pile number 1, Mermaid's Tears. Pile number 2, Seahorse Scales. And pile number 3, we have Sunbeams. If you are wondering what deck this is, it is the Alchemist Oracle. I just brought it. So here we go. I'm going to read from the book to do the energy check-in. And with that said, let's jump into it. Let's find out what the tea is on you. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Mermaid Tears. Doesn't sound that great. No, like she's trapped in a basket, a bottle. Sounds a bit sad. I can hear one of my cats crying. Yeah. Okay. When I think about Mermaid Tears, like the energy I pick up with this is like, those of you who have picked this pile, you could be going through sort of a bit of a pitfall at the moment. Like you could be dealing with something quite emotional. So heartbreak is one, maybe a loss of a friendship, a death. 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, it could be a loss of a job as well. Is sort of the vibe I'm picking up. Some of you may have a strong affiliation with mermaids, but I definitely love when I open up a book, it comes straight up on the page. So some of you could have a strong liking towards gold or silver. Okay, but this card is all about embracing the natural ebb and flow of emotions and find renewal and fulfillment in any state. So she's got her emotions bottled up. So I kind of feel like for those of you who have picked this pile, like you're bottling up your emotions. So Mermaid's Tears for me would not, it'd be like crying discreetly. It'd be like tears running down my face, but nobody could see it was happening. So I feel like a lot of you could be in that state. I also feel called, like it might be beneficial for some of you to monitor your emotions with the moon. So when it's waxing, when it's waning, when it's a full moon, when it's a new moon, when it's half moon, that might actually help you sort of navigate when you are on your emotional highs and lows. You are being called to get out into the world and show off your best self and the amazing energy and creativity the goddess has brought you. When you do this, you're still letting your emotions flow align, leaving you feel light and feel fulfilled. So I feel like my piece of advice there is when I'm going through something pretty full on, I'll still show up for work. And as much as I don't want to get out of bed, I will show up for work because I have a mortgage. And I like money, but I don't want to be broke. So I tend to look at work as a blessing, because if I didn't have work and have that a mortgage, it would be easy for me to just get caught up in those emotions and let them ruin my life. So hopefully that advice does not resonate for everyone and doesn't come across like shit. But if that resonates, this is your pile. So let's find out, mermaid tears, what is current tea on you? We don't want reversals today. Ooh, the Hermit. Wow, look at the Hermit card. She has no head. She's just a beam of light. We have 2 of Cups. I'm going to go 6 of Cards. 6 of Cards. We're going to have 6 cards. We have 8 of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have people talking about you. 9 of Cups, Queen of Cups. And at the bottom, I was going to say talk about you in regards to a romantic encounter. Romantic. Just zoom in there. Very romantic. Alrighty, so the Hermit. In regards to gossip. Yes, signs. So I know you guys love your signs. We have strong Leo, strong Virgo. We also have strong Cups. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Queen of Pentacles is earth sign, specifically though Capricorn with a splash of Sagittarius. And then we have the 8 of Wands, which is naturally linked with Sagittarius, Mercury and Sag as well. But yeah, let's jump into it. So the Hermit, in regards to what the gossip could be. There could be some gossip surrounding like your maturity towards finances, like how you are currently looking at your finances and things that you are considering or actually are investing in. So if you are actually talking to people about your finances, they are talking about it. I would have to say, on the basis of all of these cards, guys, although you could be going through a really rough patch in your life, in your journey right now, there is a lot of positive tea happening or being said about you. And I think that's a true blessing, and I really hope that brings you some inner peace, especially when you are already feeling like, you know, life's kicking you whilst you're already down. The people around you have very high, like have you in a very high regard here, based off these cards, because they're all beautiful, loving cards. I also feel because there's such a love theme here, there could be a bit of tea about you needing to spend some time alone to truly think about yourself and maybe to learn more about yourself and what it is you are looking for in a relationship. Some of you could be into be exploring different sexualities, or like you having a different sexuality to what you already thought your sexuality was. I'm hearing there could be a bit of tea about that. I also feel like the tea mainly with the Hermit, and if it is romantic tea, I would say like it could actually be like they don't believe you need to spend some time alone anymore. It's more about like after you've come out of this like a period of isolation, like you truly know now, like you truly know more about yourself. So take that as it resonates. Some of you have already been isolated. People are talking about how you isolated yourself to go on some sort of like, you know, self-discovery and to sort of heal. You know, and from that you are able to like, you know, enter maybe the dating scene here. Either way, there is a very like, you know, soul searching element to the Hermit. It's a very spiritual energy. It's very much about enlightenment as well. So I feel like there is a bit of tea about some kind of, I don't know if they're calling it a spiritual enlightenment, because we're talking about finances before and love. And I don't feel like the people around you is as spiritual as you. And I feel like basically with this Hermit card and the T is talking about some new enlightenment that has put you on a very positive path towards better finances, but choosing better investment opportunities, maybe choosing better partners, or understanding that you needed to take that time away from the community, from family and friends, in order to figure out what it is you're actually looking for. And with the Two of Cups here, it kind of gives me the impression like the T, you know, flows on from there on the Hermit to the Two of Cups, that people are definitely talking about maybe a potential partnership. You could be talking to somebody at this time, and there could be tea surrounding about a connection where you could be potentially joining forces with a soulmate. Okay, but we do have two people here, which kind of gives me the impression the T could be about you having two, because the Lovers does and can indicate having two options. Okay, doesn't necessarily always mean in love, but we do have two court cards here, either side of the Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment card, which kind of gives me the impression somebody is very much talking about your romantic options. You could be talking to multiple suitors. People could be talking about that. You could be having sex with two of these people, one of these people. They could be talking about that, because the Eight of Wands is a strong sexual card as well. If you are entering a relationship or, you know, getting to know somebody, I'd say there's some tea around this being a blossoming, you know, romance, you know, a really beneficial partnership for you both. So this tea could be around these people, if that makes sense, or that's what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing that tea is coming from people talking about you for these people. So whoever these people are confiding in, what the T is here is these people see you as the perfect choice for them, is what I feel. So you may have your mermaid tears because you could be stuck between two lovers. You may have your mermaid tears because an ending has occurred with maybe the Queen of Pentacles, but you are now talking to a Queen of Cups. It doesn't have to be a man, or a woman or a man, just however people, you know, resonate with those energies of masculine and feminine, if they do. So yeah, that's sort of what I am picking up. I feel like there's a heavy emphasis on the T around, there is T on you, or what you need to know is the people that you are romantically pursuing or could be, you know, communicating with are actually the people in their life are talking about what a great option you are for them. You bring a lot to the table, I believe, Pile 1, especially in your finance sector, in your investments. These people could be talking about this, your wins, your gains in life to them. So the T is that you're this very successful suitor for these people, is what I'm hearing. Hope you follow. Hope I'm not confusing the fuck out of anyone. But the Lover card, sorry, I didn't sort of touch on that as the overall energy. Like, there is a strong conversation happening here about you being the perfect partner, or you having a perfect union with a Queen of Pentacles or a Queen of Cups. But for me, if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it's probably not your pile. I strongly believe the T at the moment is you have plenty of romantic suitors, or you would have plenty of romantic suitors if you don't have a lot of suitors. If you don't have two specific people in your life, I'd say people just, the T is that you would have a lot of suitors because of that initial Hermit energy about how grounded, more stable you are, right? I feel like you hide your mermaid tears very easily. Like you don't show people your emotions. But yeah, the overall T here is like, you know, people are really resonating with the values and the morals that you present or obtain or acquire. And I feel like, you know, there's this element of the Lovers about kindred spirits, right? You're a person who's definitely got major opportunities in life, and therefore has led you to a lot of major choices. I actually wouldn't be surprised if you don't have two specific people that you are potentially perfect for. Like this could be an ex that you had to get over, and this could be someone that you are currently pursuing, or this could be somebody from your past that you have reconnected with, that you deemed like a childhood sweetheart. Like I'm kind of getting that Six of Cups energy. And so this person's family is talking about what a great, person you are for this person. And this person's family or friends is also talking about the same things, because you are a catch, Power One. You are, I feel like you are divinely protected, but I feel like you are divinely sent into people's lives to grow within yourself, but also to help them grow and to become better people. So yeah, the Eight of Wands could talk about some tea surrounding maybe you needing to travel or move somewhere in order to come into union with this person or a person. There's a definite conversation happening about new love interests if you are single, right? So this Eight of Wands definitely reiterates that message that even if you don't have two specific people pursuing you at the moment, one in your past, one in your present, it could be the fact that this Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Cups is an indication of the suitors new love interest coming towards you. And there could be tea around what kind of surprises are in store for you, because you have actual options. And I feel like for a lot of you, this could be like a long time coming. It's been the first time in a long time where you have you're coming out of hiding, you're open to love, you're open to, dating. With this Eight of Wands can indicate online dating. And if it's not online dating, it's just meeting people through the gym or some kind of social activity or work. But yeah, I feel like with the Eight of Wands, people are definitely talking about some kind of progression in your romantic life, right? It could be the fact one of these people, if you are resonating with that scenario, is what the tease is you're willing to travel or they're willing to travel. There's going to have to be a change in location, because I feel like there is some distance between you and maybe the Queen of Cups. If it's not the Queen of Cups, it could be the Queen of Pentacles, or it could be both. I feel like there is distance between you and one of these people. But they're also talking about the excitement of this new relationship or this newfound friendship with you that they do believe will enter into a romantic connection. Either way, I see some kind of conversation talking about moving forward. Yeah, and kind of not wanting to wait. I feel like there's some tea, maybe they're talking about you moving quite quickly, you are willing to move towards one of these people. So take that as it resonates. The Queen of Pentacles in regards to the tea. So if this is specifically talking about you, which naturally it would be, or it is the Queen of Pentacles talking about you. Either way, this card is it's a card acknowledging, it's identifying you at soul level. I feel so you're very motherly, you're very generous, you're very sensible, you're very nurturing, right? Very practical and down to earth. People generally love you for this. This is why people see you as this wish fulfillment with this Nine of Cups. But on top of that, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's magnified with the Queen of Cups on the other side, right? Or it's emphasized. It's it's one thing to be the Queen of Pentacles, but to be seen as the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, that is I guess if you're a person looking for love, and you're a person who's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations with narcissistic partners, you're going to feel like you've hit the fucking jackpot if you find one person who portrays the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups traits, right? You're really going to feel like you've hit the jackpot of all jackpots when it comes to like finally coming into like union with your soulmate. And that's how I feel what the T is here. That's how these two people, or that is how love interests are talking about you. And that's big energy. There is a massive fucking compliment, really, when you think about it, to actually be deemed Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, you know, wedged with the with the Nine of Cups in the middle. You know, I do get baby Empress vibes here. So, you know, Empress is a person that's, you know, tends to already have the children, have the family, have the castle, and you guys are building that, right? You're building that yourself, and I feel like you're very self-made, you're very independent, but you haven't allowed your self-made, your independence, it to go to your head. Like, you're still this very kind, caring, giving individual. You still would give, like, you know, your last $20 to a friend who had nothing. And I think that is what really, I feel like that energy is what really lures people towards you, which is probably why you've been dealt a very harsh, like, hand at certain times in life and had to retreat. I feel like for a lot of you, you've dealt with a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing. And I feel with the Queen of Cups here is like you've definitely learned discernment. You've definitely learned to trust your intuition now. You could be spiritually connected to the other side. So you listen and you trust. And I think that's a beautiful thing now. It's probably taken many frogs and fuckwits in order for you to learn that. But yeah, the T here is that you are very selective with your partners. You don't just like go into relationships with anyone there with that Queen of Pentacles. So the Nine of Cups here in regards to the T, I would definitely have to say, you know, the T here is like you bring people a lot of comfort. People feel very satisfied when they're in your energy. They love the fact that they feel appreciated. Right? You make people feel very seen, very heard, very appreciated. And I also feel like there is this sense of contentment. I feel like both these people or your future, well, what they're saying is like any romantic suitor will feel content with you because of what you bring to the table. But be mindful, everyone should be bringing something to the table. You know, there is this element of recognition at work with the Nine of Cups, and I kind of feel like there could be some tea about some success, some sort of financial like abundance coming your way because of some form of recognition at work. So it could be just like a little gift card, something like that, a pay rise. But that is definitely coming through with that Nine of Cups. And then to close out your reading, Pile 1 with the Queen of Cups, you know, the T here is definitely reiterating, you know, this very warm-hearted individual. You're very compassionate, you're very kind, right? Like the Queen of Pentacles, there is this element of security. People feel secure in your energy. But with that Queen of Cups, people feel very supported by you. So I feel like you have this natural, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You just have this natural ability to make people feel safe, and you have this natural ability to calm people, like diffuse situations, and that is what people are talking about. You could be a healer, and that is what they're talking about here. Many admirers is also affiliated with the Queen of Cups. So again, there is strong tea here about a lot of people admiring you at this time. Like a lot of people, you know, you could be being a bit of an inspiration to people, or people might be really, you know, maybe they're motivated by you as well, like looking at your own journey, especially romantic journey, if it hasn't been that bad, but you choose not to give up. You choose not to just quit. You do believe in true love, love at first sight. So although like you might go into like lockdown mode and hate the fucking world, you'll go in, you go hide, and then you'll come back out, and then you will be ready to get back on the horse and, you know, find your prince or princess charming is what I'm hearing. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know if that resonated. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Pile number 2, Seahorse Scales. Welcome to your reading. So some of you could love seahorses. The thing about seahorses is that they're unisex. I know there's a more sophisticated or scientific word for it, but they are male and female. So I kind of feel like that is sort of, well, I'm connecting it more with you guys having to have mastered like your divine and your masculine, your masculine and your feminine energy right down to a T. You know when to take action, you know when to lean back. You know when to be assertive, you know when to be passive, you know when to be strong, you know when to be like humble, weak in a positive sense is sort of what I feel. I feel like you've got things under wrap. Like I feel like you're in a very much control state of mind. You know where you're going, you know what you want, and you're going to go after it. But at the same time, I feel this element or energy of patience. And I feel like you are very connected to God or source at this time. And I feel very strong and confident in your energy right now. The more I try and I don't tend to like to connect too much with your energy when I do these because I have to protect my own. But I feel very pulled towards yours. I feel like I want to march with you, whatever it is. So we could have some activists in this pile. But I feel like I want to stand with you and fight for whatever cause you are, because I feel like your moral compass is of highest good. So in the book we have the word water. Okay, so some of you may need to drink more water, or you are drinking enough water. Remember, drinking too much water is also bad. So reflect on your purpose. It's within your power to overcome challenges and change. Excuse me. I'm just getting over a cold and it's totally fucked me up, but here we are. Yeah, so it says, I have the ability to get what I want from this life. I can see the bigger picture. Jesus. Some of you could be sick as well, so I wasn't going to do it because I was humming and hollering about it. Yeah, so I have the ability to get what I want from this life. I can see the bigger picture. Yeah, so it definitely gives me this feeling like you've learned how to leave yourself space to work through your problems, okay? You've learned how to show someone else what you're struggling with. Therefore, you've learned how to ask people for help. And that's probably been your biggest obstacle in life. And I also feel like you've learned how to control the noise in your mind, okay? So you could have been a person whose mind just fucking raced, right? Like fucking racehorses running around a stupid ring. No offense if you're into racehorsing, but I am not, for many different reasons. But won't get into politics there. But yeah, I feel like some of you, you really resonate with that. Your fucking mind would run 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you've learned how to fucking control that narrative. Like for you, you're like, you know, you could have files, like I'm seeing you're a person who's got organized mind files now. So it's like, cool, I've given that 5 minutes of thought, put it at the back of my mind or put it back in the filing cabinet, move on to the next thing. I just feel like you're in a lot of, like, you're in control, you know, and you're more in control than you ever have been before, is what I'm hearing. So that sounds like you. Awesome. Let's find out what the T is on pile number 2. I'm not going to do reversals. We will do 6 cards. We've got Justice. We have the Fool. Oh, it's a lot. I'm going to take the Devil. Oh yeah, what's this one? We'll take this one. We have 5 of Swords. And the Knight of Pentacles with the Moon as the overall energy, the T. So we have Pisces, we have Capricorn, we have Libra, we have strong, obviously, Taurus or Virgo. We have air energy with the 5 of Swords. Specifically, I think the 5 of Swords is Aquarius. So yeah. What's going on here? I don't know, guys. I think yours is a little bit controversial here in regards to the different, I feel like there's a bit of tea going on all around you in all of your areas of life. So the Moon here is a representation of the unseen secrets. So people could be talking about your secrets. If you've shared secrets with people, I don't want to fucking send red alert here, but the Moon can talk about secrets being hidden, secrets being revealed. But if the High Priestess was here, I'd probably say the secrets are being revealed. But there is something you can't see, right? I feel like with the overall energy, you would be fully aware of that. And here we have Sweetie welcoming you guys. But hello. Yeah, the Moon's just sort of giving me vibes about, don't lay on the cards, please, please. I know you're so pretty, but I know you're going to do it, aren't you? Don't. Lay over there. Go on. There you go. You can lay there. Yes, there. Good girl. I don't know, I just kind of feel like with the Moon there as your overall energy, it's giving me the impression that I tried. You all saw me try. She's so cute. She's my little guard dog. I don't know, there is some sort of secret here, some kind of deception. And the only reason why I'm going to call deception out is because of the 5 of Swords and the Devil showing up here in the spread, right? But I feel you already know that. So let's sort of utilize the Moon. I'm feeling a bit all over the place. So although you're in a very grounded energy, I feel like there's maybe a bit of chaotic bullshit happening in your world. So creating or trying to create instability and insecurities around you. You could have people trying to being sent to you from the universe to test your intuition, to test your discernment, right? To see without seeing, right? And this could be new to you, but you could be hopefully going, fuck yeah, I get that. That's exactly what's happening. So kudos to me if that is resonating. And if not, maybe this will come over the next few days. Really being called here, pile number 2, to take notes of your dreams, write them down, keep a pen and paper next to your bed if you're not already doing that. You are getting messages about people in your dreams, about their deceptive behavior, about how they're creating instability and the insecurity around you without you seeing it. They're trying to blindside you. So the T here could be actually from your spirit team for some of you with that moon card coming out. I feel like there could be just the T on you. It could be like, I feel like if we keep pushing, what I'm hearing is if we keep pushing, you know, pile 2 will start feeling a sense of confusion, anxiety, and uncertainty, maybe towards your career. And the reason why I feel like this could be workplace related is because the Page of Pentacles is my employment card, right? It's about opportunities at work. You could have people trying to, you know, tilt the scales in their favor, trying to sabotage your opportunities, your employment opportunities, all of your hard work is what I'm hearing. So bear in mind, there could be somebody fully aware who is talking about you, that you have people backstabbing you, whispering in your boss's ear maybe, to try and sabotage like your hard work. You have been working towards something for very long, like a career, trying to climb a ladder for some of you. And I feel like what the T is like, you know, John and Sarah are trying to fuck you over. And that's pretty full on. So I don't know if that's going to resonate with everyone, because like if I heard that and I'd be like, fuck, there is no John and Sarah at my work, but is this happening? There's always going to be somebody at work, not always, but most people's works, where there's some fuckwit who just wants to try and dim your light or steal your opportunities or gets jealous of you, wants to talk smack, start shit because they're fucking bored and they're stupid. So if that resonates, just trust, stand in your power, follow your intuition, answers on how to deal with these situations, these people, is coming through your dreams. Now, Page of Pentacles, as that is my tangent now. I'm going to jump back into the reading. But Page of Pentacles, in regards to what the T is on you, it could have something to do with about you being super goal orientated, like you're a really good planner, like you're very loyal and very dependable. So if you've recently gone for a job, the T here, what they're talking about is those traits that you would bring to the role. If you are like lacking a bit of passion in a relationship with somebody, what the T is here is they're talking about how they can spice things up with you, like showering you with more love, you know, trying to take you out on more dates. I'm hearing fine dining. I'm pretty fine at whining. But you're definitely somebody who's being seen at the moment or spoken about at the moment as somebody who's putting in the effort to grab new employment opportunities, or you should be doing that. So take that as it resonates. It could even be the fact on the basis on the back end of that tangent I just went on, like people could be like, the tease is like you're putting in the effort to grab an opportunity in the workplace, right? And I feel like with the Justice card sitting right there, like the follow on from that, it's talking about how fair and just it is of you to receive a new employment opportunity. Like if you, it's fair for you to take a leap of faith towards this opportunity, right? I also feel with the Justice card, the T on you could be talking about like karmic justice, right? So people could be talking about how they've infiltrated some kind of employment opportunity and they're reaping consequences, right? You could have taken somebody through to a legal dispute in the workplace. People are talking about that. They're talking about how you've always been truthful and honest about the circumstances or what unfolded in that situation. You know, life lessons is heavily linked to the Justice card, so it kind of gives me the impression these people are talking about how you are their life lesson. You know, there was a little bit of that energy in pile one, but yeah, very completely different readings, totally different energy. You know, you are spoken of as somebody who is always keeps things as honest and fair as possible when dealing with like workplace situations. I also feel like the T here on you with the Justice card is that you always act with integrity. Even if you make a mistake, you always take responsibility. That is why you're the best person for the job. That is why you're the best person to trust in a situation to try and find out what's happened. So this is very strong, like energy, right? And these are very strong statements people are talking about when they talk about you. Like pile 2 does not fucking lie. They'll just blur. This is what happened. Yes, I fucked up. Yes, I take accountability, and you move forward. I also hearing the T here is like you never make the same mistake twice in the workplace. Like you might fuck up once, but you'll never do that fuck up again. So your boss is probably very like adamant about seeing you progress, but you could have colleagues around you who want to go out of their way to disrespect you, right? Create corruption for you, like call you out for lack of accountability, you being dishonest. They're trying to throw you under the bus for some of you, but you can't be thrown under the bus. You act of integrity, that's your sort of, I feel like that is, it might be your mantra, but I feel like that is your motto, what people give you. Like that's what you're known for. So just remember, when people come for you, pile 2, and you don't send for them, the universe will fuck them right up. And that should be your motto. So with the Fool here, right, there could be some kind of new beginning that you took a leap of faith for. People are talking about this, how like you sort of saw this idea and you went for it. I feel like the T here could be like, we don't understand why pile 2's like, you know, taking action towards that, but they will land on their feet is what I feel with that, with the Fool. I don't know, you could have a very youthful energy about you. People could be talking that you could have a wandering eye for some of you if you're in a relationship, or maybe other people are talking about how they've got a bit of a wandering eye for you here. I also feel like you could have recently just turned very spontaneous and people are talking about that. With the Devil here, the Devil... Look, you could have had some form of addiction, I guess, with maybe money, right? Because we do have like a couple of Pentacles cards here. But the Devil card talks about secrecy as well, right? So kind of coming back to this moon energy, there is some kind of, there could be tea around you and your secrecy when it comes to some maybe gambling, shopping, some kind of addiction, right? That you hide. Maybe people are talking about how you are needing to be more responsible with how you spend your money, or you are now more responsible. Like you're no longer listening to the devil whispering in your ear about some kind of like, habit is what I'm hearing. It could even be sex. I don't know. I just feel like you could have explained to people you feel a little bit trapped in your job, but I feel like the T here is like people are talking about how maybe you feel trapped in your job. Maybe you're trapped because of financial obligations here. And what people are talking about is that you have more options than you actually realize. And if you actually evaluated what you wanted and moved towards it, you would actually achieve it. So there must be some kind of connection there. Like some people might know that you are taking action towards a new opportunity, a new employment opportunity, or you want to, and other people are like, you need to do it. They know you need to do it. But this card and this card and like that original scenario popping through talk about like the T here is you really need to be aware of deceptive colleagues is what I feel. Like you may not actually realize how fucking deceptive your colleagues are. So just want to flag that. Just don't share things with them. Don't share what you're doing. Don't share if you're going for jobs. Maybe just go and share whatever you want to share with them, just to, you know, put a bee in their bonnet. I don't know. Like, don't talk about your love life with your work people as well, is what I'm hearing. I don't know what that was. Okay, so the Five of Swords in regards to the tea on you. Again, there's definitely tea surrounding some kind of conflict, an argument, a dispute. It could be a bullying dispute in the workplace, like being under the Justice card. This could be the people are talking about how you should have taken a harassment claim to Fair Work or like to HR. People could be talking about how a bullying situation completely stressed you out. If that doesn't resonate and the work thing isn't like, you're like, no, work's really good. There could be some tea around some kind of deception with infidelity here. So coming back to the secrecy with the Devil and the Five of Swords, it can tell me there could be some tea around maybe you're not easy to sort of like move into a relationship at this time, or maybe you're not easy to sort of just jump, like head in first to a connection because you are still getting over some kind of infidelity, some kind of deception with a past lover. Maybe there is some form of reconciliation being discussed here. Maybe somebody is wanting forgiveness from you and in the hopes of getting back together. If you have somebody like an ex who's still in touch, who's still trying to show up for you, I feel like they're talking about how like they want compromise. They want you to see them sort of making those changes in order for some form of reconciliation in the hope that you would get back together. And then to end your reading on the Knight of Pentacles, right? So this is one that talks about, I guess the tea talking about your hardworking, like, persona at this time. Like, you're very committed, you're very routine orientated. So somebody could be talking about how, like, if you're on your, like, your days of work, you go to work, you come home, like, you're very rigid in your routine. Like, you know, pile number 2 won't socialize outside of like days off, is what I'm hearing with this Knight of Pentacles. People are definitely talking about how practical and reliable you are, but not when you're being on it, not when you're following a routine, and routines naturally happen on working days, right? So somebody could have a bee in their bonnet about that. They could be talking about that in a positive light, but they could also be talking about that in a negative light because you're not available when they need you. Okay. I also feel like you are very trustworthy, and I feel like if you've got potential suitors around you, or you're dating anyone, or you're in a relationship with anyone, this whole integrity persona about you, this trustworthy energy, is definitely coming through here with the Knight of Pentacles. But the one thing about Knight of Pentacles pile 2 is they are very slow moving. So you, although the irony here, we have the Fool here. The Fool tends to rush in. I know this is going to work for me, I'll land on my feet, but the Knight of Pentacles would never run in. They were very slow moving towards things. So I kind of feel like kind of coming back to this masculine and feminine energy, and knowing when to take action and knowing when to pull back. I feel like he's very much what I'm picking up with the Fool and the Knight of Pentacles here. So just remember this, pile 2. When you are on the path to success like you're going to have motherfuckers come for you. You're going to have them come try and side rail you and kick you off your path because they are just jealous and they're fucked in the head. Okay. And the other thing is that be mindful that these people, I'll try not to swear too much, will send you bad energy. So please up your spiritual protection. Do that however you may. I burn sage, I burn black candles, I do my little mantras. You know, obviously having my cats as well helps, but you have a lot of envious cunts around you, okay? And I do believe they're in the workplace. It could even be like, hypothetically, if you do taroting on YouTube, it can be the people watching your content and hating watching your success, right? Watching your style and that sort of jazz. So just be mindful that protection is necessary. So sending much love and light to you. Bye. Alrighty, pile number 3. We have sunbeams. Might put some light on for you guys. This reading is going for much longer than I thought. So, sunbeams. That sounds like happiness, really. I feel like it gives me like sun card vibes. I'm hearing apple of my eye here. So radiate your sunny and bright energy, unaffected by others' negativity or judgments. Love that. It has the word gold here. So some of you may look really good in gold. Maybe you're bringing in a lot of money at the moment. But I'm really being called to this. Radiate your sunny and bright energy, unaffected by others. Don't, like, yeah, I feel like a lot of you are already in this energy. If you're not, then you need to get into it. So some of you are currently in the state of you radiating your sun and brightening people's days, not allowing people to sort of infiltrate your energy, try and like bring you down. And for others of you, you need to learn how to be unaffected by others' negativity or their judgments. So telling people more to go get fucked is something you need to start doing. And that takes guts, and that takes time, and it also takes a lot of experiences of putting up with certain individuals who push you to the brink of having to say fuck off. All right, so what else have we got here? Now, I'm going to say something about this book I don't agree with. It says in here, remember to stop and listen to others and even rein in your enthusiasm when necessary. To stop being judged, you also need to judge what is appropriate and when. Your friends will thank you for it and in turn also feel supported and listened to, promoting a continued sense of well-being all around. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I get that's a very narcissistic approach. I'm not trying to call this author out, but when I think about people in my life over the years, I would say I just got a job promotion and they may not, like, the author of this book may not be thinking about these sorts of situations, but I feel like you guys, you will resonate with this, which is why there will be a method to my madness here. There will be a reason. So I remember, I'll never forget the time I hadn't seen my brother and my sister-in-law. It was for so long, and I was doing really well with work. I'd got out of uni and I was so proud of myself, and I'll never forget them turning around telling me not to boast and like I shouldn't have to be so happy about my success. And that hurt. Like I still remember like sitting, you know, I think we're in like a Macca's or something like that. We're meeting in Sydney somewhere, and that fucking hurt because like I had worked so hard and like shed so many tears, like, you know, really had to climb some fucking mountains to get to where I've been and to get like, you know, this, I don't know if it was a promotion or just recognition through work, and to be told to like not be happy and to stop boasting about my hard work. That's the kind of like, which therefore they judge me, like, right? And that's the kind of energy I'm picking up here. I don't believe you need to rein in your enthusiasm when necessary, but maybe what I'm thinking about is because they were so stressed out in their world. Maybe what this passage is actually saying, so maybe I can take something from this, is like rein in your enthusiasm when you're around people who are severely depressed. Maybe that's one way you can spin it, as opposed to looking at it as very narcissistic. But I know when I don't know, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but the thing that catches me off guard with this is to stop being judged. You should never give a fuck if people are being judged, to stop being judged. That's something a narcissist would say, like, rein in your enthusiasm when necessary so people don't judge you, meaning I won't judge you. Mate, you're a narcissist. Nobody gives a fuck what you think. And that's the kind of energy you guys need to step in. And I feel like that is my method to my madness. You know, if you've got friends around you who will say, oh, like, you're too much, like, you're too enthusiastic, you're too happy about this, they're not your friends. Fuck them off. They're your enemies. They're only going to pull you down. I got really baffled recently to realize people who I thought were my really good friends were never my good friends. They were always trying to plant seeds of doubt in my methods, in my dreams, like, always, like, real toxic shit. I didn't actually realize until I was like, you know what, fuck this. And I've left a group of friends, and I'm all the better for it. I just couldn't believe it. Once you take the glasses off and see it and go, I wonder why they always ask those sorts of weird questions. Friends who try and tell you to, I don't know, to change because it's offending them or affecting them, they're not friends, pile 3. So if that resonates, awesome. Sorry that went on a fucking tangent, but it's my channel and I'll do what I like. So let's jump into it. Let's find out what the T is on pile number 3. That's a lot. We're not taking reversals. We're not going to take that because it's a pile. 7 of Swords though. Ew. Is it coming out? Yes. There she is. What secret are you going to believe is what I'm hearing there. We've got the 7 of Swords. We've got the King of Cups. We have the 3 of Cups. With the 9 of Wands. We have the Hierophant. One of those ones. This one wants to come out. 7 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I was going to say on the bottom of the cups. Where are we for viewing? 3 of Cups, 9 of Wands, the Hierophant, 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords. So a couple of, strong Taurus with the Hierophant. We've got air, we've got earth, we've got water, we've got fire. So all your signs are here. But if you wanted to be super specific, your 7 of Swords, Aquarius, maybe Moon in Aquarius. King of Cups should be maybe Pisces. 3 of Cups, Cancerians. 9 of Wands. I think Moon in Sag specifically, and then the 7 of Pentacles, Taurus, maybe Saturn in Taurus. 9 of Swords, ouchie. So the T here, it's funny, not funny, sorry. That last sort of thing I was going on with that book, and I actually want you to know there is the method to my madness. The T on you at the moment, the people, like people talking about you at the moment, I want you to know that these people have got some like big tower moments happening. I feel like with the 9 of Swords here for you guys, so more often than not, I read each pile very differently. The energy is very differently. But what I feel with the 9 of Swords, guys, is for you to be aware that the people who are talking about you at this time are in a severe state of depression. You know, they're feeling a lot of anxiety. They're feeling a lot of negativity. They're having nightmares. They're at breaking point. So don't take their behavior or their treatment personal, But what I will recommend or advise is to get the fuck out of their way. Remove yourself from their life. And it's not to say do that. I get depression and I remove myself out of everyone's life. It's because when people are on the highway to hell, to feeding off other people's misery to make their misery feel less easier to deal with, it's best not to be around them. They're toxic. I actually think maybe this pile, for me even to view that passage, that small passage in that book as narcissistic, there is narcissistic energy in your energy field. The fact that we have Seven of Swords coming out and I see her picking a lie, right? The imagery on this card is, the T is which lie you're going to pick. I actually feel like you have people literally going out of their way to maybe put you in a state of despair here, maybe push you to breaking point with bullshit lies. So if you are dealing with narcissists, people who put you in third-party situations, if you're dealing with a romantic suitor who you could have a high-level commitment with, if you are married to a King of Cups, please be mindful. This is kind of a red alert reading for you guys, for some of you, is that there are lies being spun in an affair or some kind of infidelity here, a third party situation. But you're aware with the Nine of Wands here and the Seven of Pentacles, like you're fully aware of what's going on. So I believe, I could be wrong. So that is one sort of aspect, scenario coming out. Seven of Swords though, what's the T? There is some kind of deception, betrayal being spoken about, right? So people could be talking about lies that they've spread to you. They could be talking about the trickery or the scheming, some kind of strategy that they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes, okay? If I feel like this could be behind your back. People could be talking about how you have been deceived, that you are being cheated on, that your partner, this King of Cups, has only fed you lies. Now, if this isn't present, this is past. People are talking about this happening to you in the past, about you being in a third party bullshit situation. Now, there could be this other element here about hidden feelings with the Seven of Swords. Somebody could be talking about having hidden feelings. This King of Cups could be the person who's married. The thought of you being with somebody else puts their head in a fucking spin. So there is this other energy or this message coming through, if this other betrayal is not resonating for you, that somebody does have hidden feelings for you and they're hoping that you don't pick it up, because they feel like if you realize that they have, you know, want to give you their heart, that's going to end their marriage. That's going to end a long-term commitment, is what I feel, because this person won't be able to deny what they feel for you. Somebody's being very deceptive for some of you about how they feel about you. Like they've absolutely fallen in love with you. It could be somebody you work with, could be your boss. And the third party is work, right? That is also possible here. So you're going to remember, we're reading for thousands of people on here. Not all messages are going to resonate. So please just take what it does and what doesn't. And if it starts to put you on a downward spiral, please get off the reading and go have a shower and wash that energy off your body. So King of Cups, right? The T here would be talking about how emotionally balanced you are. This is why some people would be falling in love with you, or this is why your boss or somebody in a higher profile position has fallen in love with you. It could be your counselor. That's a red flag. Counselors should not fall in love with their patients. I'm fully against that. It's abuse of power, I believe. Because when we are vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable, we will fall into relationships, the wrong relationships. So, but I also think on the flip side of the King of Cups here, and getting off that tangent, you know, the T here is you're somebody who's very devoted. Like you're a great husband. If you're a man here, you're a doting father. If you're a woman, you've really stepped up to the father role for your children. If you do have children, you're very loyal, you're very affectionate here, and you're very romantic. And I feel like you're very emotionally balanced is what somebody is talking about. People could be talking about you if you are a person who can be a father, like biologically, like how they would want you to be the father of their children. You could have somebody very interested in like getting you to get them pregnant or getting you pregnant. There is something very calming in nature about you, and I think it's because of the kind of compassion you bring to your relationships, your friendships. I think you're a well sought after male. If you're a male, you have a lot of female suitors willing to maybe leave their marriages to come to you for that nurturing energy that you portray. You're very logical and you're very practical and you're very wise, okay? So you could be mentoring somebody. You could be a teacher. Maybe you're the counselor and these are patients who are falling for you. Just a bit red flag there. Don't lose your license for love. Do all that hard work at uni to throw it away. Well, maybe you did. I don't know. I shouldn't judge. Sorry. But yeah, 3 of Cups, right, would tell me what the T is like... Yeah, I feel like we're all done with the tantrum. I don't feel like there's many potential suitors around you. So people could be talking about how their plan of attack, so a strategy, right? So this King of Cups could be saying, okay, I'm going to be pile 3's friend. And then I'm moving into the like romantic field, like romantic energy. I feel like they're talking about how you have potential suitors. They're talking about attending some kind of social event to run into you. They talk about how you are very social, how you like to celebrate, you know, birthdays, Christmases. If it's not that, then like you like to celebrate promotions and people winning and in life and doing really well. You celebrate people's blessings as well, is what I'm hearing. This is why people are very drawn to you, because you make them feel good about their hard work, right? Because you're a person who knows all about planting seeds and slowly watching them grow. And you appreciate people's ability to stay on track and work hard for what they work hard for their goals and their dreams, is what I'm hearing. So we have the 9 of Wands, right? She's interactive, where she's a bit puffed, but she's not giving up. And I kind of feel like, you know, the 9 of Wands traditionally talks about somebody being very persistent and resilient and somebody who will always take the last stance. And I feel like the T here is like, even though when you get fatigued, you're still resilient. You will still persist until the goal has been achieved, right? You know how to overcome challenges in love, okay, through hard work, right? You're a person who doesn't give up on relationships easily. So it's funny, if you are involved in this sort of infidelity situation, what the T there could be is like, you know, they're not going to just let me leave and move on with another connection, because they will invest time and energy into a marriage. So just be prepared for that if that's resonating. And I'm send my love and light to you if that is, because that is not great. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm picking up, the 9 of Wands. Now the Hierophant, right, can talk about you having very traditional values. It can talk about somebody who, you know, is married, right? Or is only looking for marriage. You are very, when you take a vow of commitment, like you take it all the way there. Like you're not a half-hearted lover. You're not half-hearted when it comes to like work as well, is what I'm hearing. But I definitely feel like there is a T on here. If you're married, people are talking about how you're married, right? If you're not married, people are talking about how you are only looking to be courted in a very traditional way in order to lead for a relationship to lead to marriage, right? For others of you, it could be the opposite of that. It could be like people are talking about how you might find traditional way of life very challenging for you, because there is this rebellious side. That's not going to agree with all of you. there could be a sense here about, because the Hierophant can talk about somebody feeling bored in their love life, in their relationship, and the fact that their partner may not be on the same page. So there is this heavy energy with this infidelity thing, and my apologies if that doesn't resonate, and also my apologies if that does. But if the shoe fits, it fits. We don't sugarcoat shit anything on this channel, but at the same time, I do have a heart, and I don't do this to trigger anyone, but to set you free. And then the Seven of Pentacles to close out your reading, pile 3. You know, the T here is definitely talking about some kind of harvest, right? Some kind of reward or results that you've recently obtained through your patience, right? You have recently come into some kind of profitable, like income, profitable, like, I don't know, maybe business here, because you put in the work, right? You nurtured the right relationships in the workplace. Maybe you were very patient. And because of that, you are reaping some kind of financial reward here, is what I feel with the Seven of Pentacles. But you are a heavily patient person, is what people are talking about. So even if you, what it could be, if it's coming back to this infidelity thing, is like, you won't be afraid to put in the work to fix it. People could be talking about, like, this is a red flag. Like, if they, like, if you have been cheated on and people are talking about this, right? People could be talking about, like, how you won't allow an affair to ruin your marriage or your long-term relationship. You will be resilient. You will find the energy. You'll find to overcome the challenges and invest the time and energy you need to in order to bring that union back into tact, is what I'm hearing. And look, some people can do it. Like, you know, there are some people out there who generally just fuck up in a relationship. I am a one-shot wonder. Like, you do me wrong once and I just mosey on down the road. So call me stubborn, call me unforgiving. I don't know, you could, but that's just how I roll. You guys could be the complete opposite of that. And that's what people are talking about. Like, you are very forgiving. You'll listen to somebody's reasoning for, you know, ill-intended behavior, and you make very conservative decisions based, like, conservative forgiveness is what I was going to say. You will forgive very conservatively, meaning, like, you'll really sit there and process whether or not they deserve forgiveness, as opposed, like, you're not cutthroat in the sense of, all right, I'm going to throw a 25-year marriage away. You'll figure out how to salvage it. But if somebody is linked with the Seven of Swords, they're more often just a piece of shit and they never change, from my experience doing tarot and reading for people in long-term relationships. So that is what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that message, and I'll see you next time. Bye.